Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. I'm your host, William Hindman, and welcome to JustForce911.com. Hey, the update on this case was that the police officer that punched the lady after he arrested her for no reason whatsoever, except she was out in a parking lot wandering around, mumbling to herself, minding her own business, and he arrested her or took her into custody for her safety. Yeah, that worked out real well, like it always does. These guys are a joke. These bad officers need to go away. And this clown actually gets away with it. It just boggles my mind. They did fire him from his job as an officer. They took him to court, and the jury found him not guilty. Oh, my God. These people, man, I'll tell you what, bootlickers, you guys got it made. I don't know. Subscribe to my channel. Give me a thumbs up, thumbs down, ring the bell. Go over to to John Bryant's website. Tell him I sent you over there. Subscribe to him. Check out some of his videos. He has some really, really, really good videos. And I think you'll like them. Tell me what you guys think about this, because I think it's an absolute travesty what's happened. But let's check this out.
Singing a song! You guys don't like my song? You don't like the truth? You punch me in the face when my arms are behind my back?
Do you remember this video that I posted back in June of 2023? That was the video where the cops arrested this mentally ill lady, took her to the hospital, then she spit while handcuffed on one of the police officers, and he immediately punched her, and that resulted in the officer being fired within 3 days. You may have been wondering whatever happened with that. Well, I have a final update. I'll tell you what happened and why it's a huge problem. Let me know in the comments if you think that justice was done here.
Arrested a lady for doing nothing.
First, let me give you a quick recap about what happened here. This is from Loveland, Colorado, and it all began on Saturday, May 20th, 2023, at about 8:30 p.m. when police officers were called onto a street in Loveland with reports that there was this adult female wandering in and out of traffic and speaking incoherently, and this is the lady that they encountered.
Nothing, just walking along, singing a song.
Can you just hang out and talk with me, please?
I'm just singing a song all
Okay,
day
are you walking in any traffic, though? Ma'am?
I'm just singing a song all day long.
Try
I'm
263,
walking
she's
along.
walking away from
Is
me.
there no freedom?
There is, but
I can't walk along and sing a song. See, I have the full volume.
Perfect.
So
Well,
I
can we get
can't
out of the
walk
roadway,
along.
though? Not
Oh,
on the road.
walk-
You know what I mean? So I'm getting told that you're like out in the roadway.
Oh, okay.
Can you stop with me and just talk with me
There's
just
no
for a second?
sidewalks.
I know. I
So
get
where
that.
do a sidewalk go? Where
You-
can I be? Where I
Well,
can
just you
see
don't wanna
the
walk in the
full
roadway,
volume,
right?
don't you see? So where are the sidewalks? Where am I supposed to be? Where is the mark of the deceived?
You just don't want to walk in the traffic
Where?
and get hit by a car.
Well, then where should I be?
Well, where do you live?
There's nowhere for me to be. You don't
Okay.
have no design, no degree.
Well, let's stay out of the roadway, right? You
Oh,
don't want
out
to get
of
hit.
the roadway, okay.
There is, ma'am. What's going on? Where do you live? Ma'am?
So long,
Ma'am, do you have an ID?
but I'm just walking, singing a song, dude.
I got you, but you're
Okay.
you're walking in the roadway.
Well, okay, but there's no sidewalk,
I
is
got
there?
you. Are you from Loveland?
Maybe. I'm from all lands, you see.
Now, this is not the officer who would later punch her. This is the other officer who was not fired. While there was an allegation that she was walking through traffic, at this point, she is walking through a parking lot. She has answered questions. She has not been observed committing any crime. They have asked her if she wants to engage with them, if she wants help, if she wants a ride, and she has declined. I don't see any reason why they couldn't have just left this lady alone, but they didn't leave her alone.
The land, the air, the sea.
And that's one thing. This officer does not end up arresting her. The officer that comes in afterward that got fired, he's the one that made this all, come to fruition, because he had no probable cause to arrest her and ended up doing so.
from Oceania to Oceania. I divide this disease.
Okay.
Of the fucking neon green and the greed of the fucking obscene, of the fucking glitter of the hogs. You know.
What can I do for you, man? What can I call you? What's your name?
Angelia.
Angelia?
Angelia.
Angelia? Am I saying that right? Officer Hobbs. My first name's Nick. What can I do to help you out?
Hey, I'm just gonna go my way. I'm just gonna take a breath.
Sure.
'Cause I got
Can I give you a ride somewhere?
of the Fifth Element.
Where are you gonna head to, just so I know you're safe?
Safe?
Yeah, I want you to be safe.
I'm gonna be safe in this place, really? Really? I'm gonna be safe for the better good of who? Who's in the who? Safe
I just
from
want you
what?
to, like, physically,
What would
right?
I be safe from?
Just,
Is there somebody after me?
not that I'm aware of, I don't
Okay.
even know you.
Why would I be
The
safe?
cops.
You're just,
Why
if you're
would
out
you-
here, you don't have a jacket, it's gonna get cold
No,
eventually.
I'm
Like,
fine.
you know what I mean?
It's
Stuff like that.
5 degrees. I fucking stayed winter out here.
Where are you-
Fucking snow at times.
Where
In
at?
between hotels and friends and just
Well, where can I get you to?
line. So
Well, do you have any kind of, like, identification on you? Just, like,
I already told you my
Just your
name.
first name, yeah.
That is
Gotcha.
my identification.
What's your last name?
Aurora Borealis. Hey, this is the detection of the day of the sway of the pendulum
What's your
sway.
last name?
You don't go north today. You keep eating on the sinew that way.
Ma'am,
Wondering.
where are you headed to?
The entire legal basis for everything that happens here in this situation is this police officer's alleged concern that he wants her to be safe. When ironically, the only way that she ends up getting hurt that evening was by the very police officers who said that they needed to keep her safe. Clearly, she has mental issues, I think. Is there some threshold of mental ability before somebody can walk down some public parking lot? Do we allow police officers to just go stop people and give them some sort of mental acuity test before they're allowed to continue on with their walk? If they are not observing her committing any crime, if they're not observing her acting in some way where she's demonstrating that she's a danger to herself or anyone else, they have no legal right to stop her forward progress, to detain her, just because they have some vague concern about her safety. That does not satisfy the Fourth Amendment requirement that police officers cannot see somebody unless they have reasonable suspicion or probable cause to believe that this individual is committing a crime. I suppose one exception could be that somebody is a danger to themselves or others, according to a particular state's mental health statute. But with this footage, I don't think we've seen that at all. While she's certainly unusual, she seems to be able to answer questions. She's not communicating that she's afraid or that she needs the police to help her in any way. Ultimately, they end up taking her into what they termed protective custody, meaning for her own good. But as you'll see what happens, she's clearly a very intelligent woman, just mental issues aside, and she gets very, very angry, and rightfully so.
I am walking on my free.
And see, this is one of the reasons, guys, you never ever call the police, because all they do is mess stuff up and make it 10 times worse than it was to start with. The good cops that are out there, I'm sorry, but, these bad cops are ruining it for you guys. You guys that are good cops do a great job, and my kudos go out to you, and my prayers and hopes and dreams. But bad cops, no, you guys need to go away. Need to go away.
Land country.
You are, and I'm not saying
Sorry
you're not
they don't
wrong.
have sidewalks
Sure.
in the place that I do.
Well, they do
Sorry,
along
I
the
don't
highway.
go by the sublines of the youth. Please,
Copy.
the
I'm in
white
the parking lot
flag.
at Thrift now
I'm not
that
been
she's
bad.
not willing to cooperate with me. Where are you going to?
It doesn't matter.
It does matter.
Why do I have to say where I'm going when I'm just walking in a free country singing a song full volume?
I got you.
Why can't I do that? Is there no freedom today? Have I been sold out to China this way? Our fucking oil reserves sold out to China, have you heard? fucking, you better call in the psyops, you fucking spy.
What is that?
And if I can't walk in freedom this
You
day,
can,
just
but
walking along.
You're walking in front of
singing a song,
cars, and I don't want that to
we
happen.
got a problem, dude. You come to me face and face, I'm just walking.
I got you, you're walking.
Multiple callers that you were blocking traffic.
Multiple callers.
So I need you to stop.
Now you see Officer Moranto show up, and he's the one who ended up hitting this lady after she was in custody at the hospital. But here, he's the one who then sort of even escalates the situation even more, specifically tells her that she's being detained. All the while, neither one of these officers has observed this woman committing any crime. Their alleged concern is again that there were multiple reports from callers that she had been walking in traffic. Okay, so they responded to the call, they located the woman, they watched her, they followed her, they interacted with her, and they have not seen this woman walking in traffic, endangering herself or endangering anyone else. Yet they're still going to escalate the situation with her, somehow protect her by arresting her completely unnecessarily.
Blocking traffic, don't.
Now, this little punk bitch that's standing there right next to her is the one that ends up arresting her or detaining her, whatever you want to call it, put her in handcuffs, taking her into custody. It's still an arrest. I don't care what you want to name it, what you want to call it. It's still wrong. And he's also the one that punches her with her hands behind her back with handcuffs because he's a little pussy. And, he got fired. Great. I hope he never becomes another officer because he's just going to do this again, and again.
Touch me, dude. Don't touch me.
Do you have an ID on you?
Don't touch.
Okay.
Don't
Then I
touch
will
me.
again. Will you cooperate with me?
Don't touch
Do
me.
you have an ID on you?
Don't touch me.
Are you going to identify
Don't
yourself?
touch me.
She only-
I'm
she
just
only-
walking,
You're
singing a
lawfully
She
song.
only told me her
I,
first.
don't touch me.
Don't fight me.
I'm just walking along.
You are being detained.
I have no freedom to walk
Do you
in
have
this
an ID?
land.
Do you
Look at this little pipsqueak, man. Get your hands off of her, you scumbag.
have an ID on you?
You.
Do you have an ID on you?
I'm just walking.
Okay.
What have I done wrong?
Obstructed
Let go of
traffic.
me.
Multiple
He may have got away from the charge, but he still lost his job. He should never, ever, ever be a cop again.
times.
No, I'm not. I'm walking
You're
through.
now, but it took us a minute.
They transport her to the hospital. She's very angry, clearly. And the most important thing that is going on here is that this woman is handcuffed, hands behind her back. The nurse who is in the room with her is apparently very sensitive, and she can't take this woman's profanity. And now this officer is basically going to white knight this nurse. And he kind of starts to get in this woman's face and sort of provoke her.
You don't speak for me, you Margarado piece of shit.
Okay, let's watch
She
the
said
language.
Angelia, you piece of
Angelia,
shit.
I will not tolerate
Yeah,
that language.
well, I will tell you, I'm not tolerating that I can't walk down the street. Hey, f***ing give it back to me.
See what he did? He grabs a paper just to provoke her. He deserved to get fired. Unfortunately, he got away from the charge. Too bad this time. He'll get his time.
You
Gonna have, it has to be your property.
Hey, I can have it.
Angelia.
Why can't I have a piece of
Because they have
paper?
policies here. You
Then
can't.
f***ing take my pants off too. Take my shirt off. Give me my piece of paper.
Angelia.
Why can't I have it?
Angelia, these
Hey,
Fuck, piece of shit. Why can't I
Angelia.
have the paper, you piece of shit?
Angelia.
You enjoy the fifth element.
Hey.
You wouldn't even know you
Angelia.
swine piece of shit.
Continue to
So I'll
behave
tell
this
you what
way.
brings me in here today.
Do
I was
not
walking
spit and do
down
not
the
yet.
street
I will not
and
tolerate
these
that.
fuckers did you. Fuck
This will
you,
go a
yeah.
lot smoother.
Don't even
You
touch
tried to
me,
kick
you
me.
piece
I'm
of
going
shit.
to fight back.
Really, you handcuff me, you white give me my paper
I
back.
will not.
Yeah, see how he instigates?
Can you speak to me then if you don't like him?
Now, former Officer Russell Moranto would later testify under oath that he did not punch Angelia Hall out of anger or retaliation, but that he simply used a strike to move her face away from him so she could not spit again. He reiterated several times that the strike, not a punch, was a reasonable action. Is that what you see here?
Don't spit. Oh, hey.
Yeah.
Just a little scumbag cop. This is the bad cops you good cops need to help us get rid of.
See what he does?
The other officer who was right there, Hobbs, clearly didn't agree that his actions were reasonable. In fact, he immediately intervened and said, "Hey, Moranto, chill," and got him away from Angelia.
Back off.
See what he does?
Back off.
Hits me. Hits me. I want to name. I'm taking him down. I have my hands cuffed. I can't even fight back. I was cooperating with everybody. You guys wouldn't cooperate with me. I was just walking along, singing a song. And when it's 55 degrees, finally nice. You guys don't like my song. You don't like the truth. Fuck you. You punched me in the face when my arms are behind my back.
No, I did not.
Fuck you. Yes, you did.
No, I didn't.
Not you. Your fucking fellow officer. Fucking right in the fucking face.
Then shortly afterwards, Officer Hobbs was interviewed by the supervisor, and Hobbs asks, "Do I turn my body cam off, right?" And the supervisor says, "No, leave it on." Then Hobbs basically admits that he observed the other officer punch this lady in the face in response to her spitting.
Turn on camera, yeah?
No.
No? Okay.
Tell me what happened.
Was trying to talk to her, and she ultimately just spit in the direction of the nurse staff, and it hit the floor. Still verbally uncooperative, trying to get info out of her. Staff was like, "You know what, I'm not dealing with her. We're leaving the room." She's very uncooperative at this point. So she's yelling at Moranto. Moranto's standing in front of her. She spits at Moranto on him, and then Moranto just kind of takes his right hand and hit, like, across her face. And that's when I took Moranto, grabbed her, and I took and pulled Moranto off her and told him to get out of the room.
Good.
And I'm not gonna lie to you, I think I need a tap out as well after all that's happened, type of thing. So
I'm pulling you off this call.
I'm just kind of overwhelmed.
I'm pulling you off this call.
All right, that's the end of the body cam footage, and here's what happened afterwards. This police officer, who was still at the time a probationary police officer, and they could basically fire him very easily within the first year. He was within that period, so they went ahead and fired him just within days of this incident. And then there was a criminal investigation conducted by the Larimer, if that's how you pronounce it, County Sheriff's Office. And that was requested by the Loveland Police Chief, Tim Doran, and they ended up finding that there was probable cause to actually charge former officer Moranto with third-degree assault, a Class 1 misdemeanor under Colorado state law. In Colorado, you commit third-degree assault if you knowingly, recklessly, or with criminal negligence inflict bodily injury on another person. The offense is a Class 1 misdemeanor punishable by up to 18 months in jail and or fines up to $1,000. So the standard is this. A person commits the crime of assault in the third degree if the person knowingly or recklessly causes bodily injury to another person, or with criminal negligence, the person causes bodily injury to another person by means of a deadly weapon. So former officer Russell Moranto was indeed prosecuted for punching this woman. After about a year of the case pending, just a few days ago, his case went to a jury trial. And guess what happened? He was completely acquitted by the jury of third-degree assault. And that was the sole charge that he faced. The jury deliberated less than 1 hour. Moranto testified, "I delivered a single strike to Miss Hall in an attempt to redirect her." He also testified that he became a police officer to help people in need. Nailed it. Moranto's testimony was that the video showed him remaining calm and using appropriate force to prevent him from getting spit on again. "I'm heavily concerned with bodily fluid," Moranto testified. "To be honest, my immediate thought was stopping this, and Jesus, I just caught something. It's not a pleasant experience." He continued to say that he had mere seconds to react, and he used his training to stop Miss Hall. "This was me acting as quickly and reasonably as I could. I don't like to be assaulted, but there was no malice." The prosecutor, Matt Milero, however, said that the video and other testimony show that Moranto was retaliating against somebody who spit at him with excessive force. It looked wrong, and it was wrong, said the prosecutor in his closing argument. He could have used other nonviolent methods to defuse the situation, but he did not. The prosecutor argued that Moranto could not now use his badge and uniform to shield his behavior. Apparently he could. The defense attorney, Donald Sisson, argued that there was no evidence to back up the prosecutor's statements that former Officer Moranto acted in anger or that the force he used was excessive. He pointed to the testimony of an expert witness called by the defense, someone who trains officers in the use of force, who testified that he would have done the same thing. Well, time to look up that guy's use of force record. There's no evidence he had any intent to do anything other than protect himself, his lawyer said. And the jurors apparently agreed with the defense and returned a not guilty verdict in about an hour. Now, the judge has scheduled a hearing on August 30th to consider sealing the records in the case. People wonder why police officers who violate somebody's civil rights aren't prosecuted more often. And this right here is the reason. This is the problem. Because many times when they are prosecuted, it just becomes a popularity contest between the police and whatever unsympathetic victim has had his or her civil rights violated. And it just becomes basically a jury nullification situation. Whereas here we have it on video, him punching her. He can get up in front of the jury and said, well, I didn't punch her. I just struck her technically in such a way as to redirect her face, blah, 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 blah. Now, he knows he's lying. We know he's lying. The prosecutor knows he's lying. The jury knows that he's lying. The jury knows that the cop knows that they know that he's lying, but they still acquit him because he was a police officer and they just generally want to be able to trust the police. And this is sort of a visceral, knee-jerk feeling that most people have who might end up on a jury, and they're willing to basically let him off the hook. You or I wouldn't get let off the hook, but he's getting let off the hook. Like I said, it's like a popularity contest. And I've said before that a lot of times when cops really do get in trouble, it's because they victimize somebody who is a sympathetic victim. When they do something to the town drunk, or to a criminal, or a gang member, or somebody with severe mental health issues, or somebody with a long criminal record, a lot of jurors are going to let them off the hook. But when they do it to a local doctor or to a child, those sort of situations, you see cops really getting in trouble and then the criminal justice system following through. But unfortunately, a lot of times they get away with it just depending on whether or not the person that was victimized was a sympathetic victim. But at least he was fired. But the last thing that I told you really concerns me, and that's that they're asking the judge to actually seal the records from this case. So this guy, despite the fact that he was fired from this department and he was castigated by his own department and the sheriff's department where this occurred, will just pop up somewhere else. And he'll be able to say, well, I was acquitted at trial. I'd be curious to know whether or not he still has this police certification, whether his certification was yanked at all. I didn't read anything about that in the media. And that brings us around back to my original video. As I discussed in several other videos the past couple of weeks, one thing that they cannot get rid of is the fact that this is out there now on YouTube for the public to see. They cannot seal that record. They cannot seal the fact that over 4 million of you watched the first video where I discussed this incident. They're not going to be able to seal the fact that hopefully millions more of you will watch this video and share it with your friends and share it with your family so that this guy is not going to be able to work as a cop anywhere. I don't care if he testified that he became a police officer because he wanted to help people. We see him on video with our own eyes striking somebody, punching somebody in the face, a woman who was handcuffed, hands behind her back, who, if anything, needed his protection, needed his help. And she was told at the beginning that they just wanted to protect her. But they arrested her really for no reason. They put her in handcuffs and ultimately punched her in the face. That is the sort of trust that cannot and should not be given the opportunity to be regained on behalf of the public. But I want to hear from you. Let me know in the comments what you think. Was justice served here? Do you buy his story that he was just sort of trying to deflect her face in another direction, that he had no actual malicious intent to punch her in the face in retaliation for spitting on him? Do you buy that story, or do you not buy that story? Or do you not buy that story, but you don't care because if you were on the jury, you'd let him off the hook? If that's the case, tell me why. If you're on X/Twitter, you can follow me there because I put a lot of overflow content and comments there that you won't find on YouTube. It's at John Bryan ESQ. You can also find me on Facebook and at thecivilrightslawyer.com, where you can subscribe to receiving my videos and blog posts via email. And also, if you haven't subscribed here on YouTube, please do. And if you have been a long-time subscriber, check to make sure that you're still subscribed, because every video there are people that say, I had no idea that YouTube had unsubscribed me. So check that out. Remember, our rights don't end where your fear begins. Freedom is scary. Deal with it.
Okay, guys, so what do you think? Did he punch her? It looked like that to me. Little scumbag got away with it. So subscribe to my channel, thumbs up, thumbs down, hit the bell icon. Send this to your friends so they can see it, so more people see the video. Go over to John Bryant's page, the civil rights lawyer, and subscribe to him. Tell him I sent you over there. Show him some love, and tell me what you guys think, because I think this is a real tragedy. Unfortunately, it's just the way it happens in our country, and we're trying to make this better so this doesn't happen. So once again, a shout out there to all the good police officers. We need your help.